Play!
Avast ye salty war dogs, it's the game you've certainly been waiting for. I know I have. Butcher of Basraa and Baloo playing as Soviets today on farmlands, facing off against Shotter and Thompson Nagant as the Commonwealth. I'll be spectating Thompson and Shotter's point of view, so we're going to see what kind of skills they have got against the mad Butcher of Basraa and Baloo. We seem to have a fairly standard start out. Shotter on the right, Thompson Nagant on the left. It looks like Shotter's going towards the middle rather than securing that island. Now, it's kind of unusual to be back on farmlands, especially at night time as well, which is the very first game that we had in round one. Was this map, and it was night time, and Shotter and Thompson played it. And they won, of course, because they're in round two. And what we're going to see today, I don't know, because this time they're playing as the Commonwealth. They just played as the Soviets as the first time round. And there is Baloo facing up against Thompson Nagant on the left-hand side tonight. We can see a good spacing of infantry from both players. Grenades going off. These grenades are going to mark who wins this very early battle. Looks like Thompson Nagant getting a little bit better grenades off there. Interesting that Thompson Nagant's infantry are more exposed than Baloo, but it seems his infantry is just being more effective. Baloo opting to fall back. Hopefully he's not in too much trouble this early on in the game in the center of the map. It doesn't look like we have much action from Butcher going on. Shotter definitely has this under control. He's not really being fought for that area. So we're going to have to see what Butcher brings up. We can see on the map he is kind of moving to the right-hand side of that point. Thompson Nagant being very aggressive this early on, moving straight up into this urban environment. Taking cover, a few guys, losing a few guys, but don't worry, he can bring up some more. He only has 3 or 4 soldiers left there. Shotter, you can see he's not really been engaged that much on this right-hand side. And in the center of the map, we still have plenty of infantry all around here. A machine gunner set up behind this wall. Pretty good coverage of that center. Butcher. Now, this is a really interesting thing. I like to do this as well in the start of the game. Is just remove that building, because guarantee you there's going to be infantry hiding behind there. Interesting choice here from Thompson Nagant with the dodge. That's definitely going to eat up that half track. Baloo already starting to retreat. That reverse dude, now front gear, go, max power. But he is going to be chased. Classic chase scene here, dodge and half track. No gunner in that half track though. Hull destroyed, engine damage. Gone, fence destroyed, no. That's a critical loss there. That fence is just preventing infantry from moving up. Butcher with a very light AT gun covering the center. Very difficult shot though, especially in that water. It only comes with 5 HE shells as well, so it's going to have a difficult time destroying the environment. The AP shells could destroy the greenhouse, but I doubt he's purchased it for that sole reason. We have the dodge here from Thompson, moving up, firing its HE shells into that wall. Not a bad use of the dodge, actually. We can take care of that building, which is definitely going to hold up a few guys in there who can fire out the windows. Excellent cover just to stick infantry. Thompson Nagant going to steal that 50 caliber gun in there as well. That's good. Making use of your resources that you find on the field is all good. This dude now is some sort of war hero. He's going to charge that zone by himself, supported with a dodge. Okay, so not really himself. We got more infantry coming up. His squad sprinting. No regards for their safety whatsoever. If there was just a machine gun behind that wall, it would have been excellent. Unfortunately, though, for Baloo, they're going to take cover behind that wall, which is going to be a problem for him. We can see an AT rifleman hanging back here behind the wall. Not so good now it's under fire. No doubt that Thompson Nagant knows it exists. We also have a light AT gun here as well, pinging away at the dodge. Does look like this dodge has sustained a few casualties. We can see the dead body. No, dead body's gone, unless it was alive, but now it's definitely dead. He's still repairing though under fire. I probably wouldn't, but since it is a light vehicle, it does repair a lot faster than any other vehicle. Baloo bringing in a second half track, not phased by the first one. We can see that 50 caliber gun firing into the AT gun. 3 soldiers move up from Thompson. They cast the spell of grenades on the AT gun. The crew members ditch it. It does look like it's now not able to be operational. And here comes Rambo MacGyvertron Prime firing his 50 cal into the half track. He does manage to get rid of that. Unfortunately, he dies, and that's kind of stupid because there's still 8 more episodes to go in this freaking series. We're only halfway through. How dare he die right now? It does look like Thompson Nagant is making significant progress on this side of the map. What's he slaughtered so far is 2 half tracks, an AT gun, countless infantry. There's definitely almost no money there for Baloo to spend. We might see a T-34 come out. We do often see T-34s with the Soviet making use of their excellent medium armor. Shotta in the center of the map has lots of machine guns, 3 machine guns, also behind sandbags, and Butcher almost doing the same thing by the looks of it. He has a fair amount of sandbags on his side of the map, but no infantry trying to claim that zone. The Dodge once again being immobilized. The gun is still operational on the back. We can see the guy rotating it, aiming it and firing it. Thompson Nagant moving up more infantry to take cover in this urban zone, behind the walls, behind the buildings, absolutely everywhere. Very good play here. What's going on, Baloo? What is here? Who's pinging this? Whose footprints are these? Not sure. Maybe it's that AT gun back there. I can see a red triangle somewhere. More infantry continually moving up. This is just relentless from Thompson Nagant. Baloo, what's happening, man? What's going on in that mind of yours? There's a T-34. Interesting that he's had money to save up for that. Surely we're going to see some infantry coming out of the fog of war soon. And hopefully Baloo will pull back into this fight, making it an overall long and interesting game. We can see the Dodge firing on that T-34. I wouldn't want to re-risk in that T-34 right now. We can see it's trying to fire a shell into the Dodge. The Dodge is being repaired. How long until that's operational and able to move out of the way? I don't even think that Thompson Nagant wants to move it out of the way. Maybe he's just going to continue firing it. Does look like maybe it's reached max range now. That's good for the T-34, but really don't want to be risking that. We can see infantry moving up from Thompson on the left-hand flank of these infantry. Killing spree indeed. T-34 down from the Dodge. This has been one hell of a killer buy for Thompson Nagant. It's eliminated so much already. Kudos to it. This battle is not getting any easier for Baloo. What's going to happen next? I want to find out. Thompson making a bit of a retreat on that left-hand flank. He's going back behind the wall, healing up. Not a bad idea. He's taking care of his infantry. That's kind of sweet, really. Ah, you injured. Don't worry. Come back, come on. We'll get you healed up. Don't worry. Don't have to fight overly hard. And that's, you know, this is the kind of difference which marks amazing players and just good players, is they take care of all those little things, like healing their soldiers back up to full when they have the opportunity. So anyway, we can see Butcher seems to be having a little bit of trouble in the middle and doesn't look like he's attacking the far right. Left-hand side is in very deep shite. For Baloo, we have a good buy here. Lots of anti-infantry power from the T-60. This could do pretty well. It's already taken out a half-track. It's prevented that from doing any damage. The Dodge would be a threat if it was crewed. And luckily for him, though, it's not. It's already taken care of some of Thompson Nagant's infantry. Being a bit cautious by the looks of it. Not going head-on in. Now going head-on in. Trying to get that one guy hiding behind that door. Sure, why the hell not? Destroy that building as well. You are only going to use it for cover. Finally, that T-34 just gets completely knocked out. Assuming by the Dodge, we can see a Crusader tank. That certainly is keeping its eye out for that T-60. On the right, though, it looks like we're having a push from Shotta. It's now time for his time to shine, and time and I'm shining. We've been focusing very much on the left-hand side. Not much been happening in the other 2 points on the map, but now it's Shotta's turn. He goes behind that sandbag. So much infantry behind one sandbag. Who would have thought? Half-track gets destroyed completely. The squad of Anzac special hero units move up. They're being wonderfully split up. In fact, 2 of them just skipping past that sandbag, because I would have liked to have checked for any survivors back there. They go straight into the zone. Butcher of Basraa throwing a grenade of Molotov. Sets one guy on fire. Funnily enough, though, the other guy didn't get set on fire until he was shot into the flame. Bit of a harsh death. Maybe unnecessary to do that. Nonetheless, he is dead, and that's good. Butcher's going to hold on to that point for a little bit longer. This middle point is now being captured by the Commonwealth. It seems like it got decapped temporarily from Butcher. Baloo still having a little bit of heebie-jeebies on his side. That squad of Anzacs, a second squad, different player. So first squad, second player. You know what I mean. It's two squads from one squad. Never mind. That T-60 from Baloo is repositioning itself into the middle of the map, assisting Butcher, phasing through the emitting light particle barrel. It keeps reversing and accelerating. What are you doing? It's trying to get some of the more difficult shots. In fact, I'd really like to see it destroy that building completely. The one in the cap zone, that would prevent Shotter from hiding behind it, although also means you can't hide behind it, but that's not too much of a problem right now. He's already having difficulty getting to the center of the zone, so we might as well take it out. We have another Crusader tank coming into the center of the map, trying to find that T-60. Baloo, with a heavy machine gun all the way back here on his side of the map, is protecting his spawn. That much so, but the Commonwealth are capping this zone again. It is a 4 cap, only one zone on the far right hand side of the map for Butcher. 0 points to the Russians, 55 points to the Commonwealth. We can see the Butcher and Baloo fans crying already. No! I don't want it to end like this. Come on, Butcher and Baloo, get back in this game. No, Crusader tank coming in at an odd angle, taking care of the T-60, and oh god, sweet babies of doom, it's all destroyed. It's now a repairable object on the map and nothing more. Shotter and Thompson rarely moving beyond their own flag points. The damage they have inflicted on their opponents thus far is severe, cataclysmic, undeniably bad. Words just fail to come to mind with how much ownage they are doing right now. This is some very good play, or some very bad play. I always like to go and say, you were worse than me, rather than I was better than you, because the way, you know, when you say it like that, it doesn't matter how good I am. It only matters that the opponent is worse than me. Like, if I will find it very difficult to play better than I am, but it is very easy for the opponent to play worse than he is. I need to find a way to shorten this so I can stick it in fortune cookies, and I'll just make millions. That's right, I'll make millions of fortune cookies with that little anecdote. We have Molotovs. Welcome the Molotovs. I like Molotovs. They make the fire go hot on buildings. I realize I may have entered full retard mode. Nonetheless, though, this zone is being decaptured by Baloo. Is this the return of Baloo? On that note, we could definitely use a Tatooine map. I would like to see that. This dodge still operational this late in the game. Well, early in the game, we're only 13 minutes in. It's still firing its rounds into guys running up. We got a ping on the map saying there's an IS-1 on the field. Mr. Butcher bringing out the big toys now. Shotter again with an half-track and Anzacs trying to assault this zone, but that's no match for an IS-1. Undoubtedly track damage. Got away very luckily with that. Although ideally you want to use HE shells for light vehicles. That'll take care of stuff a lot easier than an armor-penetrating round, since it doesn't have any explosive rounds inside that vehicle to detonate. The Anzacs, though, have managed to neutralize that zone. That's good enough. That's still 3 zones. 2-2 in favor of the Commonwealth. What the hell? Crusader tank, you can't take care of an IS-1. You can maybe detrack it, but god no. That goes up in flames. That's a pretty excellent explosion. I rate it a good 6 out of 10, since 10 means it was the most perfect explosion, and I can quit the game when I see that explosion. As for that dodge, about 3. It was satisfactory. I do feel like the Men of War community needs a website called ratemyexplosion.com or something, where we can just post GIFs about stuff exploding, and then people log on and they rate it, and they're like, oh god, I loved that explosion, that was fantastic. We do have a 17-pounder, 80 gun on the field. That's going to the center. That should hopefully deal with the frickin' ZSU. But I'm not sure about the IS-1. It could definitely kill the IS-1, but it depends where it's going to take that shot from. It might have a little bit of a range issue. IS-1 already backing away from the 17-pounder. Not sure if it was firing at that. It's going for the ZSU. It's already tracked it, which means that is completely screwed. Past the point of no return for that ZSU. Although we're getting something interesting happening on this side of the map. 4 infantrymen versus we have a charge. Soviet charge. He's just going to go ahead. Chuck some grenades. We got a load of explosions here. One grenade goes off. A second grenade goes off.
Monster kill. Massacre.
That was pure brutal from Thompson Nagant. Round of applause for that. I imagine if we had some sort of fictional fans, they would be cheering wildly right now. Thompson Nagant also has a Firefly, which is going to hide up behind this building. In fact, is it doing what I think it's doing? I think it is. It's lining up a shot straight through this window. Making use of the destroyed other side of the wall. Other side of the wall is destroyed. Window, fire, hole through. IS-1, kaboom. Hopefully that goes to his plan, but I'm not too sure about that. That's very specific. We can see infantry from Butcher moving into the central zone, decapping that. That's good stuff. That would make the game become a stalemate. It's still 90 points to the Commonwealth. That is a huge lead for them. Absolutely nil, zero, nada, nothing for those who go by the name of Butcher and Baloo. It might not be them. They may have pulled the old switcheroo with some guys they found on the street. Who knows? They are decapping that zone. It is decapped. It is a stalemate. They have bought themselves some time, and time is a great healer. You can always pull back into the game if you give yourself a little time. We have 73 minutes left on the clock. That's 73 minutes to do something and just hold them off. I mean, you know, if you're gonna lose, make it the most painful victory for your enemy whatsoever. Always enjoyable and satisfactory to do that, not give them an easy win. We have commandos coming in to try and seize this zone. They really want to end this game, which could go badly. I've definitely seen teams pile in really expensive stuff and they end up losing their expensive stuff, and then they've got nothing to fall back on and they just completely get dominated at that point on. We got pinging on the map. It looks like this zone has been captured. This zone was very weakly defended, and look what comes to defend it from Shotta. Freaking Will's Jeep, damn it. That's desperate, man. That's desperate. It's on fire. That's no good. Jeeps on fire are no good. That could explode. Or that was a pitiful explosion. That's a freaking 0.1 on a scale of awesome. It was just not awesome. We do have militiamen as well. That's possibly the worst defensive team unison ever. Don't worry, I've got militiamen and a Will's Jeep. That's all I need to defend this zone. I can do it. There's a lot of Rogers in this middle zone. They are defending that. Although, you know, it doesn't matter because Butcher, good old Butch Cassidy over here, has this zone, which means finally they have 3 zones 2-2, which means their points are going up. It's not going to be a perfect game for Shotta and Thompson Nagant. Oh, it's not a fatality. Butcher continuing to go up the hill, perhaps looking into some lost treasure. It's always a good time to look for lost treasure. We have a grenade being thrown behind this sandbags. It's a measly tank crewman. Why do you have to throw a grenade at him? He can barely defend himself. Jeez, that's harsh. The building crumbles, flattening that guy like a pancake. Here comes the proper counter-attack, not the stupid militiaman Jeep combo. Jeesh. Crusader easily deals with the ZSU, which is facing the wrong way. Fortunately, that was very exposed. We have infantry approaching from the top of the hill. That Crusader just doesn't give a crap where it's aiming, firing into its own Jeep. They could repair that. They could repair that and win the game. It could be awesome. Jeeps are amazing, man. Don't underestimate them. They just need time to flourish. IS-1 coming in to deal with that Crusader. A great choice because that Crusader stands no chance. It's driving forward Do not be alarmed though, it's taking cover behind that hill. Shotta is very aware of the environment around him and he's making good use of it. This escapade from Butcher though has only bought him time. That zone is now being captured by the Commonwealth, which means only 8 points to go. And the game is over. They only scored 10 points during that. They need a new planner. They need to act it fast. We have a 3.7 inch, which is, strangely enough, it came with a universal carrier and it just decided to not just detach it, leave it there. Sure, leave your friends behind. A half-track came as well. Maybe he's going to use the half-track to bring it in a little bit faster. That's some good stuff. Crusader did get blown up whilst we were looking away. We have more infantry coming in. Butcher keeping this zone neutral, buying some more time. That's a great idea. Again, only buying a little bit of time though, not enough time for something else to happen. Something has to happen. We can see lots of firing going off in the center. So much fire. What an excellent light show Butcher, Shotta, Baloo and Thompson are putting on for us at the moment. It seems like Butcher and Baloo are going to work on this central zone, whilst that right hand side is just essentially a distraction. We have an all econ. That's strangely out of place. The IS-2. We have an IS-2, I forgot to mention that. That'll easily take care of the all econ. We have a flak setting up as well, trying to take care of the IS-1.
Denied.
But it is denied, of course. Hopefully we're going to see some infantry shots. So there we go. There's that infantryman running onto it to recruit a second guy, also running onto it, trying to get those shots off onto the IS-1 before it fires another round. The Tetriarch, what the hell are you doing here? Bro, you got some issues. That's charging. That's just going to completely ignore the fact that the IS-1's there. Sure, why not? It's going to chase after that infantry. We saw a lot of infantry from Butcher run across the lake and behind that house. They're going to be mildly surprised to see this light armor move up on them. It's not even being fired at from the IS-1. What are you doing, IS-1? Where the hell are you? These guys are in big trouble right now. So many casualties. A bazooka right in the engine. That goes flying out of control. It eats a Molotov. It now explodes. Team killing. The explosion which Butcher had triggered ends up killing a lot of his remaining soldiers. We needed them to live so they could take the central point, or any point. It's now 97 points. It's so bad news for Butcher and Baloo. They need to be throwing everything they have into these zones now. And that's exactly what they're doing. There's a lot of fire. It's such a light show now. This is better than the first one. The zone is almost neutralized. 98 points. Not quite enough though. We need more soldiers. We can see the point has gone down. We don't know if there's a soldier there. It's kind of hard to see with the fog of war, and a half-track comes in. Double half-tracks come in from Shotta and Thompson, but they get hull destroyed straight away. A lot of infantry coming in. IS-2 sitting there doing a lot of damage. There's so many casualties happening right now. We have a second half-track coming in from the Soviets as well, pouring in more fire on all the infantry trying to approach, just throwing themselves into the zone. But there's so much fire happening on either side of this no man's land.
Bloodbath.
Butcher is laughing menacingly, and right, that was freaking crazy. I would love to be able to see how many kills that IS-2 managed to rack up there. It seems to have calmed down now. That was a crazy 30 seconds, if that. I'm not sure how much period of time has passed. But a Firefly has managed to die. At some point in this battle, that half-track comes back into play. It's charging in, trying to clear out the remaining infantry on this side, defending that point, preventing infantry from Butcher and Baloo moving in to claim that zone. Though, again, that gets destroyed. There are many dead half-tracks on the field. A lot of 50 cals, a lot of heavy guns they can take off and start using. This 17-pounder all the way back here. It's deployed its sandbags, but it's not hiding behind them. Kind of near them, it's like, ooh, where could my 17-pounder be? It's not behind the sandbag, it's right next to it. It's not going to really prevent artillery from shooting it. It's, you know, usually why people move after they've deployed the sandbags is to stop artillery from, make artillery guess. It wastes a shot trying to guess where it is. But anyway, Shotta apparently has been disconnected from Mumble, or something's happened with their communications. That's bad news for them. So they're going to have to resort to typing in chat. That is rather important. Communications are vital in this 2v2 tournament. Having perfect synchronicity with your teammate can definitely win you the game in this. We got a lot of static defenses in the overall game plan of Shotter and Thompson and Nagant. We're even seeing another elite gun come up on the left-hand side. This left would be ideal for Baloo to attack now. Strangely enough, we can see some mines on the road as well. But there's so little defenses right there. You know, we've had a lot of attention in the center. We've had a lot of attention on the right since that was attacked. But now the left is remaining weak. So, you know, again, I mention this a lot. Keep poking around, find out what your enemy has. And then, you know, analyze the situation. And if there's not much there, you can just take it. Just waltz right in and destroy it. Focus where your enemy has the less defenses, because that's going to be a lot less deathy for you, if that's definitely not a term. Anyway, it looks like Shotter is ignoring all these fabulous weapons on these half-tracks, which is kind of a shame. Seeing them go to waste, they would make excellent defensive weaponry behind the sandbags. Thompson and Shotter now, though, being more careful. They don't need to rush guys in, countless squads, just to try and get these last 2 points. They've got it easy. They can just take their time, find when it's a good time to attack, just play very normally. There's no rush for them whatsoever. There's only 2 points for them to take. This half-track slowly almost trying to drive these guys down, getting out of the way of the IS-2. Going right behind it. I'm not sure what they tried to plan with that. If maybe they were trying to run over the mortar, maybe they were trying to run over the MG. On the left-hand side, though, we had a half-track come in from Baloo. That gets taken out, though, by Thompson. He's on the ball with the defenses there. Although, still very lightly defended, you know, that half-track wasn't a problem for him. So, good job there. Here's their plan. The plan is to drop some smokes on the end of the zone and then rush in some infantry just to that point and take it. We can see the 75% the flag has gone up for the Commonwealth. No, it's gone back down. Frickin' hell. Butcher and Baloo having to play perfectly to stay in this game, and there's so much stationary frickin' weapons for Shotter and Thompson. They really like this stuff. We can see a lot of infantry moving into the zone, but they're being blasted by the ultimate powers of artillery. We can see a mortar on the left-hand side. We can see the IS-1 at the top of the screen, and a machine gun. A machine gun surprisingly staying alive, even though it doesn't have its ultimate 360 art of sandbags anymore. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty good weapon to sit on the point and fire away at incoming infantry. The Orlikon climbs over some pottery, loses a guy. Very explosive, very flammable pottery.
Mega kill.
T1 artillery. Taking out a squad of Anzacs, only 2 survivors, 1 survivor left. Manning the 17 powder, there's the D1. Awesome. It almost appears to be that D1 artillery has just delayed that second attack or third attack. I don't know how many attacks on that central zone there has been, but we've seen a lot of whole squads run in there. Anzacs very durable. They could have held that point for long enough time for the game just to be won there and then, but no, that D1 artillery has denied that. The IS-1, the Firefly could be repaired. That's, again, another waste of resources on the field. The tractor, also a completely awesome, viable weapon against the Soviets. 3 zones to 2 in favor of the Soviets. The points are going up, finally, for Butcher and Baloo. That's what they need. They need points to win the game. Thompson is the right safe, asking his co-companion. Shotter saying, no, it's defended by these 4 sandbags. Very hostile sandbags. Sandbags are excellent against vehicles and mines. If someone's gone and placed mines somewhere around their zone, just go place sandbags right on top of it. That'll counter that very easily. It's the hard counter. Looks like Shotter really wants them to be back in Mumble, so they no longer have to type, because typing is really annoying. There goes that heavy blast from the IS-1, killing 3 infantry troops. Shotter trying to crawl into that zone. Butcher playing on his inferior laptop machine of just, it's so ancient, man. It's having problems, I'm sure. It's running it on low settings, I believe, so that can't be nice for him. Anyway, the left-hand side has been neutralized by Baloo. Baloo getting some payback late in the game. Great. Those Bren carriers carting around the 17-pounder, trying to get some good side shots on those vehicles, those enemy vehicles, which is great use of the 17-pounders, really making most use out of them. And this half-track, carrying away the 3.7-inch away from the artillery. Such amazing static emplacement play from them. Rarely do I see such attention to it. If there's something strange capping your neighborhood, who are you going to call? Are you going to call a half-track? Certainly can deal with the infantry, but here comes that good old militiaman support, making sure that half-track doesn't easily get destroyed from infantry that it cannot see. This is something that militiamen and recruits excel at. They have 2 eyes, allowing them to sense enemy presence on the battlefield. That's so great to have. Who wouldn't want to have that? Over on the right hand side, looks like Butcher is doing some light skirmishing on here, just challenging, poking around, see if it's in fact using 80 infantry to blastoise that guy. He's completely smithereens-arized. There is no medic bunker on the field, which means we won't be seeing any zombie grenadiers here, which is a shame because I like zombie grenadier tactics. We have another T-60 though, approaching on the left-hand side, claiming this point, or hoping to claim this point, I do believe, soon. Maybe we're going to see some more infantry approach from Baloo. He's definitely going to need that infantry if he wishes to capture that zone. But these militiamen, they're going to be no match. Absolutely no match for the T-60. Maybe we could see the Firefly repaired. Hint, hint, hint. Of course, nobody can hear me hinting at that. The 17-pounder, though, is more than enough to take out that T-60. I don't know if he can get a shot from here. It looks like it can. Most likely out of range, though. 29, 30 points for the Soviets. Things are looking okay for them. They're now claiming this zone as well. And we have militiamen coming to protect that zone. Remember what happened to the last group of militiamen that went to it. Protect that zone. It didn't end well for them. And this Jeep, in fact, are you really going to get into that burnt out Jeep? Not even into the machine gun. What are you guys doing? You just chumping along, tagging along, watching the battlefield. Dude, get out and get in the fight. Holy... you just couple of chumps up to no good. Oh, why I ought to strangle your freaking neck. Dude, your comrades are dying out there, can't you see? The steering wheel doesn't work, your bonnet's completely... God, these freaking militiamen, they're so full max retard at times, they just don't seem to understand where they are. T-60 on the left-hand side from Baloo, excellent control, using that terrain for... In fact, he doesn't even really need to use the terrain. The militiamen have no means to destroy them. But of course, you never know what the enemy has, so it's better to play safe than sorry, which is something we did not see at the start for Baloo. He played very risky and he lost a lot of crap. But it is nice to see that he has got his head back in the game. The ZSU has had a guy in it behind it, repairing all along, and this partisan is firing his entire freaking magazine into this soldier in the Jeep, and he doesn't care. It's my Jeep, I don't care if it's burning, it's not operational. I want it, it's mine. There was one soldier trying to repair that. Of course, he got shot completely. These militiamen doing a 180 and turning back round. Unusual AI pathing once again, and threatening a 5 cap now. The Soviets doing excellent work. 85% on that zone. Are we really going to see a 5 cap? This is going to be a tremendous amount of points if they can hold this. I'd say this game would be over in about 3 to 5 minutes if they could hold all these 5 flags. But we do have a Churchill Crocodile here from Thompson Nagant. That's definitely going to kill that T-60. No problemo whatsoever. And hopefully we're going to see a lot of flame action and not another Sherman Crocodile, Churchill Crocodile. Always I've seen them just annihilated so early on when they've been purchased. It really ticks me off because I just want to see them flame a load of infantry soldiers, but no, they die so super early. We rarely get to see that. There's that beautiful flame. Unnecessarily flaming the road though. I guess he wanted the guy behind the bush, but no, he already died too soon. The T-60 has veered off to the center of the map, and what a mistake that was. It got easily picked off by the 17-pounder. And wow, have the points shot up really fast. We're almost on 75 points for the Russians now. how bad it is a 5-cap. Jeez, we've got a half-track driving into the central zone from Shotta. He hides. He's got a Saboteur hiding behind this half-track, which is on fire. He's almost underneath it. He chucks a grenade in an unusual position. I'm not sure if there was a guy hiding behind that other half-track there. But a Saboteur for this? Really? Wow, that's definitely a different use for them. Usually seeing them sneaking behind enemy lines, but no, he's going to sit on this point and try and capture it now. We have 3 neutralized zones this late in the game, but that means the points are still going up. Time is running out. Butcher and Blue need to act fast to counter that Saboteur. Or maybe attack the left or right hand point. They just need one more zone firmly in control. We've got a bunch of militiamen charging down this road. And that medium AT gun, they chuck some grenades. Oh god, get out of
Double
Never
kill.
mind. I was going to say, just if you've got militiamen approaching your AT gun, just get your crew out of the AT gun and fire their normal weapons. It's pretty much all you need to take care of them. We've got a lot of infantry. We've got assault infantry mixed in with militiamen charging into the central point. It's getting desperate again. You can see that Saboteur wasn't enough to claim that zone. But it is being neutralized again. Oh god, such a huge blob of infantry. I wonder if that D1 is still about, because this would be a super great target right now. Butcher of Basraa killing a few things with his IS-1 plunked on the right hand side. You can see him blasting the infantry with his HE shells. These infantry don't care about their comrades dying all around them. They're gonna crawl all the way to the zone. We can see a few guys making it. We've got a second or third squad now coming in. They're going to play the same game. No, they're going to hide behind the wall. That's good. No point risking their lives. We've seen a fair few soldiers already die. Popping some smoke. Smokes is good. They seem to be mostly used when you're really desperate. I don't know why that is. It's not like if you've got you need to take a point, but you know it's not critical. The game isn't about to end. Generally, you don't see smoke usage, but when it's that pinnacle point, you're just throwing every little trick you have to try and claim just the little bit of points you need. We have a Churchill now. It's not dead, but it has no infantry in front of it, which is... it could spell bad news, but I don't think this late on the game Blue is going to have 80 infantry just hanging about. You know, it's something I see very early on in the game, but usually when it gets late game, people tend to just forget. I always... okay, maybe I shouldn't really give secrets about how I play, but I'm not an amazing player, so I'm probably doing it wrong. But I always like to have 80 infantry hanging around somewhere. Just corners of buildings, preventing any armor from moving up. Anyway, what is this Churchill Crocodile going to do? It looks like it's already fired a few flames from... I don't know what it was firing at, but it burnt a wagon, it burnt a bush. It's firing on the ZSI too. It gets a hit. It looks like it's destroyed that. And we now have infantry moving up behind it. Hopefully we're going to see that move up in front of it, actually giving it some protection and support. This Churchill seems fixated on something in the center of the map, such as this exploding half-track. Sure, why not? Not sure why it exploded, but I don't care. It exploded. It was good. I like explosions. Churchill now moving slightly down the road, firing some HE shells into the buildings. Butcher and Blue really have crawled back into this game. 94 points, 298. Oh, it could be anyone's game still. This Churchill seems to be taking a very cautious approach into clearing the center. A few soldiers running in from Thompson Nagant, but they don't quite make it. Again, more infantry approaching. They need to be quite precise on how they approach this zone. Maybe even go for, well, not the center, but for the left. We got a Jeep. Another Jeep coming in. I wonder if this is a Jeep from earlier. It sits in front of the point. It's not being fired at, surprisingly enough. It takes out the machine gun, the heavy machine gun for the Soviets. I was not expecting this Kitten class attack vessel to really do well against the machine gun. I thought it was just going to get pounded, but a hell of a lot of infantry now in the zone. If they cap this, it could be very bad news for Butcher and Blue. It could be game over, and they were so close. 97 points. They could attack one of the other points on the map. The left, the right-hand side are almost non-existent in terms of defenses they have there. No occupado, Mr. Pablo. Oh god, Butcher, just drive your IS-2 right in there. Delay the cap. The T-60 as well. The T-60 could do this. It looks like it's being flanked by infantry. They don't quite make it. It looks as if they were going to throw some 80 grenades. The 17-pounder is also firing on the T60. No, T60, do not be freaking scared. Doesn't matter, just charge in there. More infantry into the zone. We need more bodies. Those bodies have captured the zone, which is 99 points. It's going to be very hard to neutralize this zone now. I think this is game. Shotter, Thompson, Nagant pouring more guys in there just to hold the zone. They've won. Oh, they go into the semi-finals, round 3. Unfortunate for Butcher and Baloo. They put up an amazing fight, though. I'm fairly certain that Baloo at the start of the game was very nervous. I cannot begin to imagine how nervous some of the players are competing in some of these matches. When it's only one game, you have to play a perfect game flawlessly to win. Shotter and Thompson Nagant, though, they progress into the semi-finals, also known as round 3. We're going to look at some highlights now. I do hope you've enjoyed this game. This is certainly, possibly, one of the greatest games in the tournament, let alone Men of War as well. It's been a swashbuckling adventure for the last 40 minutes, but I'm Inuki and I'm going to sign off. Ta-da!